There's been a lot of complaining about Tesla lately, but I saw an opportunity to defend them, which doesn't sound like I do that much these days, but personally, I'm going to defend them whenever I think they're in the right, and there was a lot of criticism based on some new referral perks that Tesla just launched, and they're not even really active anymore, so don't get your hopes up, but for just a couple of hours, Tesla was offering as a perk for 30,000 referral credits, which essentially means you referred 3 people to buy a Tesla. You could accelerate to the front of the Cybertruck delivery line, and the perks were essentially promising that you would get delivered a Cybertruck, or at least assigned a VIN, within about 45 days, so roughly 6 weeks. And this threw off a bunch of people because they kept saying, I've had my reservation order in since the unveil night way back in 2019, and now you're letting people jump to the front of the line. And for a moment there, because I've been stockpiling a lot of referral credits, hoping they bring back the full self-driving option so we could buy it once outright. Please, Tesla, bring that option back. I promise you I was never going to pay $12,000 for it, but I will give you 120,000 credits for it. But anyway, it did feel weird to think that I had enough credits to technically buy that perk, order a Cybertruck, and I could get it before all of you, assuming I was willing to, sell my entire stock portfolio. Not a good idea for me, but it did feel weird that it was possible. It was an option for me to take delivery of a Cybertruck within the next 45 days, despite not currently having a reservation, nor have I ever had one. But I think personally Tesla is completely in the right with allowing these kinds of tricks, and I personally think a lot of the Tesla community needs a little bit of a reality check, and not just with full self-driving claims, but also with the fact that Tesla has come up with something truly groundbreaking, truly amazing that is the Cybertruck, okay? They know it's eye-catching. They've seen the crowds this has drawn overseas and domestically, and there's demand for this truck like no other, okay? There's never been a pickup truck that so many people have wanted to document their reactions to and talk about how it feels in person, and let's interview other people at the showroom to say what they think of the Cybertruck in person, what it's like to drive. Like, it's just elevated past the point of any traditional vehicle launch, and Tesla knows this. And of course, because Tesla is not stupid, they do not want to pass on all of the profits whenever you're in a supply is limited and the sky's the limit on demand situation, so they're looking for ways to capitalize on this whole concept. How do we make sure that we have the thickest possible margins? Because keep in mind, Tesla uses a lot of new manufacturing methods. We got steer-by-wire, we got the 48-volt architecture. It's also Tesla's first consumer-grade high-voltage vehicle, built in with the higher voltage NACS port, and pickup trucks by design are usually a lot more complicated because they do more stuff. You've got a vault cover, you've got a tailgate, you've got a frunk, you've got a completely redesigned interior, nothing carried over from previous Teslas, so ramping up the production line for this truck is not cheap, okay? This is not cost effective. I did my best to warn people about the fact that I didn't think the Cybertruck was going to have that great a range at launch or that low a price. A lot of you didn't believe me, and I thought Tesla could have done a lot better with managing expectations, but the reason I was claiming all of these things throughout the years was not because I want the Cybertruck to fail by any means. It's because I was preemptively defending it all these years, and Tesla, I think, is totally in the right to understand that they have a very high in demand item here, and they want to get their money back from all of this crazy upfront investment of getting the Cybertruck assembly line up and running, and they want to break even as soon as possible, which in the short term may not seem like it's an advantage to us, the masses, who don't have $100,000 lying around for the Cybertruck, but it really does benefit us in the long term, because the quicker Tesla is able to achieve profitability with the Cybertruck line, the quicker they'll be able to comfortably lower prices for the rest of us. So I think a lot of the hate and a lot of the skepticism around, hey, why is Tesla letting people jump in line, purely just comes out of jealousy, of course, but also out of impatience. Yes, Tesla was very late on the Cybertruck. They told us it would come in 2021. Then for a while they were saying 2022, and then for a while they said, okay, midway through 2023 for sure. And then of course, first delivery started end of November, pretty much only to a handful of celebrities, and now there's still a bunch of people waiting. I personally know several friends that ordered on unveil night, ordered all 3 configurations with and without full self-driving, and they still haven't gotten their VIN yet. So it does feel like kind of a slap in the face to those guys because they've been waiting so long that someone else who just put their order in could skip the line. But here's the thing, guys, there was never a line. That's where I think everybody's feeling off about. What car company actually delivers any product, whether it's a Cybertruck or a Rivian or a sedan or whatever, whatever, whoever delivers products based on who put in their order first, especially when it's an unreleased product. You know, Tesla was nowhere near having an assembly line ready back in 2019. Yes, there is some deliveries being based in chronological order once you've gone through your whole backlog of reservations and now you've got vehicles coming off the line. But there were even times in the past where, you know, I put in my order for the Model 3 back in February of 2022, and, you know, that was a much longer wait back then. It was like 6 months to get our car. And there were people that ordered after me that were further away from the factory that got their vehicle sooner, okay? There's never been a promise from Tesla. There's never been some claim they made that, oh yeah, if you put your order in early, you're gonna get your truck earlier than someone else. No, I've been saying this for years, and I still think people need a reality check about this. Moving around vehicles is not as simple as shipping around like a smartphone or something. Like, you feel like you pre-ordered a PlayStation, so you should get that before everybody else. No, moving a car around is a big, expensive, complicated process. So of course, Tesla's already been prioritizing Cybertruck deliveries in Texas, because that's where they're made, but also prioritizing a lot of people in California. Not because everybody in California ordered first, but simply because there's a lot of demand in that particular pocket. So for logistics sake, it makes a lot of sense to ship a bunch of Cybertrucks to the same place so that you don't have to ship them as far once they arrive at those delivery centers. There's a lot of people living in California, so they got priority. There's never been a point where Tesla, for any of their vehicles, started deliveries based on who ordered on what day and what year, and especially when we've been waiting for 4 years for deliveries to begin, I think it's pretty ridiculous to assume that people who just put in a refundable $100 back in 2019, somehow Tesla owes you something, like they should prioritize you because you had the generosity in your heart. You've been with them from the beginning. You gave them that crisp $100 bill that you could get back at any time if you felt like it. I loaned Tesla this extreme gift of $100, and this is how they repay me. How dare you? No, there was never any line, okay? From the beginning, Tesla should have expressed this a lot better, and they could have explained it a lot more clearly, but I've been saying all the Cybertruck reservation ever did, whether you ordered it on unveil night or yesterday, is tell Tesla that you're one day interested in buying a Cybertruck. It did not lock in the price for FSD. That's why the Foundation series costs an extra $20,000. They're definitely not giving anybody any kind of discount for locking in FSD all those years ago. If you read the Cybertruck pre-order agreement that you all agreed to when you made a reservation, you would have known that there was no promised pricing. There was no lock-in pricing, technically. And for the logistics of moving a car around, they never deliver them based on who ordered when. And Tesla, for the past 4 months, has already been delivering Cybertrucks not based on who ordered first. Do you think Pharrell ordered one before all of you? Do you think Lady Gaga put in her reservation, or Serena Williams' husband, whatever his name is? Do you think all these guys were ahead of you in line? No, they're celebrities, and Tesla's trying to send Cybertrucks to people who are going to document the ownership experience and highlight them because they know that those owners are going to be free advertising for them. In the same way, the referral program incentivizes Tesla to deliver Cybertrucks to people first who are more likely to document their experience and be a free advertising platform for them. Tesla knows that if you have more referral credits, you're more likely to be some kind of content creator or influencer. They're prioritizing now Cybertruck deliveries based on who's referred people to other Teslas, and I think that's far more reasonable and far more fair than the alternative that they could be doing if they start getting a bit wise and realizing, hey, there's people buying used Cybertrucks now for $250,000. Tesla could just raise the prices because the demand is so high right now, and they're still finding people comfortably paying for $100,000 plus for the Foundation series. If Tesla really wanted, they could raise prices further and just take on straight cash. Instead, they are keeping prices the same, which are still very high with all the Foundation series perks, but despite this high demand and despite all this interest in the Cybertruck, they're still keeping the prices the same as they were back in November, and they're trying to find some other way to differentiate, okay, who should get these things first. They started by prioritizing locations that are convenient for Tesla to ship to. Now they're prioritizing who's going to make videos about the Cybertruck, who's going to do some free marketing for us, and I think that's far more generous than the alternative, which is just raise the prices for everyone. And they could easily do that, and I think they would get away with it if they just decided, you know what, all Foundation series Cybertrucks are now going to cost $150,000. They would still probably find buyers. That's how much brand power the Cybertruck has. They know how much views and how much watch time channels are able to generate when people take delivery of it. So this is what they did in the past with the Model S and X when the demand was crazy high and the supply was super low. They just kept raising prices to the point where plaid Model S's and X's were selling for over $140,000. In my opinion, those vehicles are objectively worse than the Cybertruck in so many ways, and yet Tesla charged money for them. So instead, they're looking for other ways to sort out, okay, who should get the Cybertruck first? You either gotta know a Tesla employee or rack up some referral credits. The referral credits feels a little bit more fair to me because that proves that you're actively selling other people on Tesla's mission. But to think so many of you are just expecting Tesla to select random reservation holders based on if you ordered at 11:59 p.m. 4 years ago versus at 12:01 a.m. the next day. Oh yeah, you'll get the next wave because there were 2 minutes before when you guys put $100 refundable deposit down. Seriously? Have you guys seen how Tesla manages anything? I don't know. I just thought they got a lot of backlash for that whole referral credit thing, and I thought it was completely reasonable, and even though I'm not the one taking advantage of it, I see no fault in the logic because the idea of delivering things in chronological order, that was never going to happen. It was always going to be built around who's willing to pay the most will get the vehicle first, and then we work our way down from there, and they're looking at more ways to choose who gets to take delivery first. So who's selling the most cars? Yeah, let them have one next. Totally fair, in my opinion, but I know a lot of you disagree, in which case, can I just remind you all, be mad at Tesla if you don't like the system. Don't be mad at the people who are taking advantage of the program, because so many people, of course, want their Cybertruck as soon as possible, so they're gonna do whatever they have to do in order to get it sooner. Don't blame them for Tesla coming up with this system. It is not their fault. Anyway, thank you to everyone supporting this channel directly. It seriously helps us out a ton, as does just watching these videos. So thanks again. Have an excellent rest of your day.